everyone. Hope you're having an amazing Monday and welcome to the Reality Bang. I'm Ajay Yohann, your host for the session, and thank you for tuning in. That said, if you guys want to contribute to our topics, have any questions, or just want to tell us what an amazing job you're doing, you can reach out to us at 6364252164. So, for this edition of the Reality Bang, we are going to be talking about the effects of excessive screen time. And of course, we have a special guest here with us, Dr. Shobitha Shanthakumar, who is the principal of Global School of Counselling, Bangalore. It's indeed a great pleasure to have you on the show, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Yohann.
Thank you. So let's jump right into it. Now, my very first question is many of us spend, a lot of hours on our screens every single day, be it laptops, phones, even television right now. So at what point does screen time, start to affect our mental health?
Scientifically speaking, usually we'll talk about in terms of number of hours of screen time. No, so
Yeah,
if it's anywhere more than not even 4 hours, even less than 4 hours for children,
yeah,
below 10, and anywhere more than 7 hours a day for
hmm,
adults or even for adolescents, then then it is considered as excess of screen time.
hmm,
So, what happens in terms of mental health, or at what point does it affect our mental health, is when all our everyday aspects of our life gets impacted because of this. So, I'm not able to focus. I'm getting disturbed because of this. I'm not able to leave my screen time to do something that is very important for me.
hmm,
At
hmm.
that point is when I would consider that it is really affecting uh, the lifestyle itself. So I
Yeah,
have an assignment to complete, but I'm not able to put my screen time down. I'm hooked up to the game and I don't want to put my phone down. So I compromise on my task.
hmm,
I'm not able to prioritize what I have to do and what I should not be doing at that point.
yeah.
So that is when we say your health and your mental health is being compromised because of your screen time. Somewhere it impacts you.
Yeah. So now, how does constant screen exposure influence our ability to focus, relax, rather think creatively?
See, most often, if you ask people, especially adults, young
Okay.
adults or older people, they say they watch phone for information and
Hmm.
any screen time for that matter, not just phone. Any screen
Yeah.
time is for gathering information. My work is on that, so I can't afford to, let it go. And what happens is there is no boundary between what point this gadget becomes your work and at what point it becomes your aspect of relaxation as well.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
watch some series, I watch something, I watch news, and I'm also doing my work on the same thing. So
Hmm.
there is no barrier to tell me that, at this point, I'm going to use it only for this.
Hmm.
So that becomes a huge aspect. So it does impact our, or rather affect our focus and attention because it makes us get into what we call as partial attention span, because
Okay.
partly I'm doing my work. Like for example, if I'm having my laptop open, I have multiple screens open at the same time. So
Hmm.
I'm working on one screen and I'm also watching a video on another screen. So when do I say that this is okay? So my brain is not able to concentrate on one work. It is what we call as partial attention span.
Hmm.
And sometimes we also end up doing multimedia multitasking.
Yeah.
So we work on multiple gadgets at the same time. So it impacts the way we focus and concentrate on what we do and what we don't do with the gadgets at that point, right? These are basic aspects. Most often, what happens is uh, gadgets are primarily something which distracts us from what needs to be done at hand. So I
Yeah.
am watching something else for relaxation, but there are also ads that I might start deviating into, or I
Hmm.
might end up spending more on things which I would otherwise not.
Yeah.
If not for the exposure, I will not be even be doing that in the first place. So it acts as a major source of distraction for people like that.
Yeah.
And even in terms of being able to have a relationship aspect, being able to focus and talk to others, right? So we are saying family time, sit together, have a meal together, but the meal together nowadays is Everybody sitting around the table, they are having their own plates, but they're also having their own gadgets right next to them.
Yeah.
So that is not the family time that we're talking about. No, the quality
Mm.
time that we spend, one-on-one interaction that we spend, that
Yeah.
goes for a major toss. Another aspect that we are looking at, especially in terms of students, is that
Mm.
there are lots of AI related softwares now that are available.
Mm.
So be it for doing assignments, be it for even writing a movie story, also you have softwares for everything now on AI.
Yeah.
So what happens is the creativity of people is gone for a toss. Creativity and critical thinking takes a major hit here because
Mm.
I am not using my brain to think about things. I'm not imagining things. I
Yeah.
am totally dependent and reliant on these softwares to do my work.
Mm. Mm.
So invariably, the way our brain works is the more we use it, the better it becomes. It's
Yeah.
like sharpening a knife. So if I'm not going to use it for productive works, if I'm not
Mm.
going to use my imagination, like those days we had books to read, even if it's novels, right? You
Mm.
read those words and you create the story in your head. So the
Yeah.
imagination is all yours. The way people look, the situation, the background, it's all your imagination.
Yeah.
Now, even for that, we are using our photos on Ghibli and making it look like something else.
Yeah.
So where is your imagination? Where is your critical thinking? So, in that context, it also affects our decision making process. So,
Yeah.
I am not
Exactly.
able to do the pros and cons of how I have to make a decision. I am again putting the question onto an AI and asking, what do I do with this situation?
Yeah.
So our cognitive abilities, the entire cognitive abilities of our brain is completely gone for a toss. So it affects our creativity, it affects our reflective thinking. Most often, one of the aspects of increased screen time is that I am not able to think alone or sit alone and be quiet for some time.
Yeah.
I can't because my brain is thinking multiple things. Or if my brain doesn't want to think, if it's in too much of pain, I am using the gadget as a distraction, something that
Yeah.
can take me away from my source of pain. So
Mm.
I am not able to sit alone, process information for myself, think for myself. Reflective time is gone for a toss. So for concentration, attention goes for a toss. It is distract. A lot of distraction happens with that. Our creativity, critical thinking, our decision making abilities, all of this gets definitely influenced by increased screen time.
Yeah, exactly. Now, can too much screen time, affect our emotional well-being? Like, even if we are using screens for, positive things like, learning or entertainment.
Mhm. Definitely, yes. Like I said, this is what we call as media multitasking. No, so
Yeah.
though we are using the screen for uh, productive use, we are learning things. We are learning quite a lot of things. Definitely, we cannot deny that also. But
Yeah.
again, at what point do we stop? Am
Hmm.
I able to draw my boundaries? Is the question right now. Now, the other aspect is something that has been established as research is any screen time is an addictive behavior,
Hmm.
especially if people are telling me that I have an important task to do at hand, but I postpone that so I can spend a little more time on my screen, then that's
Okay.
a big deal. It's a big deal,
Yeah.
right? Now, it doesn't stop there. It goes one step beyond, especially for children and adolescents. You
Hmm.
try taking a gadget out of a child's hand now, it's not possible at all. They throw a tantrum. They start
Yeah.
fighting. They start throwing things. So much things happen. It is
Yeah.
difficult for parents nowadays to, regulate that.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
something that has been established as research is the screen time, it impacts the way we process our emotions.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because somewhere, what I learn in the screen, what I put about myself on for others to see, it
Yeah.
all is related to my concept of my self esteem, my
Hmm.
self worth, who I am and what I am. Now, what happens with media usage is most often what I am is determined by how much other people like me or don't like me.
Yeah.
It's either liking me or not liking my work and things like that.
Hmm.
So, many researchers have shown how, especially adolescent girls,
Hmm.
are more prone for depressive disorders later on with increased screen time.
Yeah.
So depression is one aspect where people get they do start feeling sad when they are not acknowledged, their presence is not felt on the media, what they
Hmm.
call as FOMO, no, fear of being missed out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's quite a lot of emotions associated with that. So they end up developing depressive disorders, anxiety related disorders.
Hmm.
Entire personalities of people start changing because of what happens on the screen.
Yeah. Exactly.
There is a direct correlation between how much screen time I have and how much emotional regulation I'm able to do in the process.
Hmm.
Recently, something that we have faced is mothers, young mothers, right? So
Yeah.
when they come and talk about not being able to understand their child, something that they've pointed out was this, uh, that I get irritated when my child is asking me a question when I'm on my gadget. It
Oh.
can be any
Okay.
gadget. I might be just watching it for relaxation, but
Hmm.
when my child is trying to connect to me, I'm not able to connect. I get irritated.
Hmm.
So that my brain is only processing what is making me feel happy or pleasurable at that point.
Yeah.
So at to a point where I'm not able to think of anything else. And once that is done, they start feeling guilty that they actually shouted or yelled at the child.
Okay. I didn't know like this was the kind of thing like most young parents face. I mean, I heard stories from my friends who have become fathers, mothers, and all, and they do constantly complain. Like even when we hang out or anything like that, like they're constantly on their phones,
Yes.
and they always have the serious kind of face, like yeah, they're not enjoying the moment, they're not enjoying
Mm,
the
mm,
surroundings.
yes.
So, which bring me to my next question. Now, what are some subtle signs, that someone might be mentally overwhelmed due to too much screen time?
See, some things, some of the behavioral changes are very, very visible
Hmm.
when you are feeling too overwhelmed because of screen time. Some things like I'm mostly
Yeah.
isolated. I'm not interacting with anyone. Even when I'm in a group, I'm not feeling to wanting to talk to others. I
Hmm. Hmm.
just want to be on my own. I don't want to talk. So, feelings of isolation is one major thing. The other thing is constantly feeling irritable.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anything anybody does puts me on the edge. I
Hmm.
tend to get upset, irritated, very sensitive, becoming oversensitive for even the smallest of things. These are subtle signs of understanding that I'm not okay. The screen time is somewhere affecting me. Now, the
Hmm.
other behavioral things that can be seen is sleep disturbances.
Yeah.
So, through the night, until the phone falls off my hand and falls onto my face, I am on my screen. So
Hmm.
something that doctors have been advocating is at least 2 hours before you sleep, keep the gadget aside,
Hmm.
because the lights that flash from any of those gadgets, it is
Yeah.
something that will keep your brain active. So
Hmm.
unless and until your brain learns to start to relax, you will not be able to sleep. So
Yeah.
at least 2 hours of space needs to be there. No, our phones are right on our hand, right over our faces until it drops down from our hand and falls on the face. So many of us
Yeah.
have done that. And the next day morning, it's like a hangover kind of an effect. I'm not able to think. I'm groggy. I'm not able to process things. I get
Hmm.
very
Hmm.
irritated with people around. I'm not able to focus,
Yeah.
make decisions. So sleep disturbances is major aspect of it. Other physical signs that can be seen is, for some people, this increased inactivity because of sitting on the gadget is
Hmm.
directly associated with weight gain, so
Hmm.
many other physical complications like
Yeah.
eyesight. Lot of things get affected, physical aspects also get impacted because of that. So
Yeah.
subtly, if we have to see, one of the first things that we will see as behavioral responses is the emotional changes.
Hmm.
Emotional dysregulation is something that happens. So either I'm too anxious or I'm too worried. I'm constantly on the watch. I constantly thinking what is going to go wrong after this.
Yeah.
I'm only looking at things that are wrong. I'm not able to look at things that I have. I'm
Hmm,
only
hmm.
able to look at things that I have. I'm constantly comparing myself. Why is that I don't have this? I want more of this. I want more of that. That a sense of dissatisfaction is increasing too much because
Yeah,
of also the increased screen time.
yeah.
So subtly, if we have to see, immediately we will see sleep disturbances, impact of that, and emotional dysregulation are major,
Hmm,
and it's visible for other people also, that what, something is wrong with you. What is, you're different, you have
hmm,
changed,
hmm. Yeah,
you're not yourself. So something about our behavior definitely gives that the signs and symptoms that I'm not okay and I'm probably on excessive screen time. Of course, these symptoms and signs also indicate to other disorders or other problems we might have.
yeah.
But if we see these symptoms, it will be better if we take a step back and do an introspection and see where is it coming from. Is it because of the screen time, or is it because of something else? So
Yeah.
either ways, the body is showing something, that something is not right.
Hmm,
Physically or mentally, the body is showing signs. So when we see these symptoms itself, it's important we step back, take a look at, introspect ourselves, or take help from outside. Talk
yeah.
to others and see, do you see any changes in me? Is there something that you feel that off late I'm doing very differently, or something that has impacted you? Most
Hmm,
often relationships get affected because of this, because I'm not able to give that quality time for my spouse or for my children, or even for my friends for that matter.
yeah,
I'm there around them the whole day, but what do I do when I'm with them?
yeah.
If I'm going to sit with a gadget along with them, then it's not going to make a difference.
Exactly.
So these are subtle signs that we have to be watchful for.
Hmm. And finally, to wrap this all up, you spoke about the relationship. So I'm going to touch upon it just a little bit. Now, is it actually possible to, build a healthy relationship with screens where they can serve us rather than, overwhelm us?
Definitely, yes.
Hmm.
Definitely, it's possible, because something that God tells us is, I have given you a spirit of self control.
Yeah.
So we all have a spirit of self control. Somewhere we have to learn. Like I said, it's about learning to draw boundaries. Now, if
Yeah.
I'm talking about drawing boundaries, when I'm doing it with other people outside, I
Hmm.
need to learn to do it for my own self. How much
Yeah.
of time am I going to give for my work? How much
Hmm.
of time am I going to give for my relaxation? So one of my professors had taught us this rule of 8. Eight
Okay.
hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, and 8 hours of your personal time. So this personal time, we have to learn to divide it, between
Hmm.
what we do, who we spend our time with, our
Hmm.
alone time. How much of alone time are we going to have? Me time, my
Yeah.
time with God, my time with the people around me.
Hmm.
So work it out. Have a boundary, have a plan in place. Don't reach a point where you feel that uh, you feel so on the edge
Hmm.
that you feel you're not yourself after a point.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, at some point or the other, we do have regrets, that
Hmm.
I should have maybe not done this, I
Yeah.
could have been more careful.
Hmm.
Right, so definitely we can have a healthy time, provided so if for some people having just like that self control may be very difficult, so
Hmm.
in those instances probably we can work out a schedule for ourselves, put
Hmm.
up a
Hmm.
plan.
Yeah.
From this time to this time, this is what I'm going to do, right? And have a reward system in place. So if I'm able to follow this schedule for
Hmm.
about a month, then I'm going to reward myself something that I like,
Hmm.
right? So now this can be done in terms of working out our finances, it can be done in terms of working out our relationship. So having a systemic routine is something that can help at this point,
Yeah.
to be able to draw the boundary, because sometimes I find it difficult to draw those boundaries by myself. It is
Hmm.
very hard, and especially at a point where I'm already into it too much, drawing a line like that just by myself without any reward may not be possible.
Hmm.
So having a routine in place like that and rewarding ourselves for being able to be consistent about that routine, all of these work.
Yeah.
Having an accountability partner also helps out, where
Hmm.
you trust someone and you tell them that, what, if I'm crossing this much time on the gadget, please let me know.
Yeah.
right? Someone with whom we are very very close, and someone who is interested in our well-being can help out in the process. Because of course for adolescents and all, if parents tell, it's a bitter fruit to eat. You tell them no, you have
They
to
will
obey
still eat
doctor
it.
this
Yeah.
thing, they will still eat it. So
Yeah.
so having friends and having a network of people around with whom you're
Hmm.
comfortable, who can also stop you from getting into it in the
Hmm.
first
Hmm.
place, right? So
Yeah.
that is very very important. These are things that can help out to have a healthy relationship with the screen time and all.
Exactly. And finally, we have a bonus question for our viewers right here. So, how do you think screen time is shaping your relationships for better or for worse? If you guys do have any, answers to this, you can send it down in the comments below, or you can text us to or email us or text us to 6364 252164. And a huge thank you to Dr. Shobitha for joining today's show and giving us your valuable input.
Thank you, ma'am. Pleasure is mine.
Thank you so much. And remember, guys, we air on Mondays at 4:30 p.m. That said, if you guys want to contribute to our topics, have any questions, or just want to tell us what an amazing job you're doing, you can reach out to us at 6364 252164. And a huge thank you to our listeners for tuning in to this edition of the Reality Bang, your weekly dose of fuel power, brought to you by FEBA Online. This is Ajay Yohann. Hope you have an amazing week, and I'll see you next Monday. God bless you.